So in this video we're going to solve this equation 5 sine x plus 2 equals 4. So the first step is to rearrange it to get its sine x equals. So I'm going to take away 2 from both sides. So we're left with 5 sine x is equal to 2. And then we're going to divide both sides by 5. So we are left with sine x is equal to 2/5. Now use a calculator to find what x equals. Well, the inverse of sine is inverse of sine. So to get x on its own, we'd do x is equal to the inverse of sine, or sine to the minus 1, 2/5. And if you put that into your calculator, making sure you've got the right settings, you should get something 23.57817 ... Now, third part, we need to find all the solutions between 0 and 360. So I draw my sine graph, and now I'm going to draw a line which shows when sine x has the height 2/5. So here's my black line here at 2/5. It's going to be roughly there. So I have my two answers. 2 times it hits the curve is here and here. So there'll be my two answers. Now let's zoom in on this graph and get a bit more understanding of what's happening. So this first answer here we've worked out will be our 23.6, our calculator told us. So this distance from here to here is 23.6. Now by the symmetry of this curve around 90, that the distance from 180 to the blue line should also be 23.6. So our other answer should be 180 minus 23.6. Okay, let's zoom back out so we can solve this equation, find the last part. So I'm going to say that x is going to equal to 23.6 or 180 minus 23.6. Doing that short bit of maths, we should get 23.6 and 156.4 degrees, and they are my two answers. Okay, second question here, so let's rearrange our equation to get sine x on its own. So take away 2 from both sides. We get 3 sine x is equal to minus 1. Divide both sides by 3. We're going to get sine x is equal to negative 1/3. Now, remember, to get x on its own, we do the inverse of sine, we do the opposite. Put that into my calculator, and you should get negative 19.47122 ... Okay, so now we need to draw the sine graph to find all our solutions. So here's our sine graph here. And what we're looking for is all the values of sine x when it has the height of negative 1/3. So I'm going to bring my straight line down, so negative 1/3 maybe roughly is there. So negative 19.1, well, that must be this value here. And it seems to hit here and here. Okay, so let's zoom in on our curve to get a better understanding of what's happening here. Okay, so there's our curve there. Now, this value here must be our negative 19.5. Okay, so this distance here must be 19.5. Due to the symmetry of the curve, must be from 180 to this line here must also be 19.5. So our first answer between 0 and 360 must be 180 plus 19.5. Again, using the symmetry of the curve that we've got down to 117, if this distance here is 19.5, the distance from 360 back to the blue line must be 19.5. So this answer must be 360 minus 19.5. Okay, so let's zoom back out so we can answer this. So our answers, well, it's not negative 19.5 because it's not between 0 and 360. Must be 180 plus 19.5 and 360 minus 19.5. Quickly doing the maths, and we should get 199.5 degrees and 340.5 degrees.